G'day comrade subscribers. I thought we'd try and power this on today. I'm really quite interested to see if it works. I'm not hopeful, but it would be great to get it working. So I'll just we'll go over it quickly in case this is you haven't seen part one. We've got a reed switch keyboard. Not too bad. Not sure if that works. It's connected permanently via some wiring down the bottom, so unfortunately I can't remove it. But it's an 8080 based machine. We've got the Soviet analog of it, the KR80VM80A. We've got a pair of, so that's an 8080, basically Intel 8080. We've got a pair of Intel 8255s, programmable peripheral interfaces. So one will be for the keyboard and one will be for the expansion. We've got a parallel port and the system bus up there. Problem with those is because it's Soviet, it's 2.5mm pitch, even though they're effectively DIN, I never get the numbers around the right way, 14612, pretty much equivalent, but because they're 2.5mm pitch, not 2.54, the Western connectors won't fit. So we've got a 2 kilobyte ROM there for the firmware. So we've got a KR58VI53. So this is an Intel 8253 programmable interval timer. So that's 3-channel sound comes out of that. What else? We've got 64 kilobytes of RAM over here. As you can see, there's 32 chips. So these, I believe, are equivalent to an Intel 2118. So I believe, how did I work it out? So we've got 16K. So I think they're 16 kilobit, aren't they? So every 8 is 16K. So we've got 16K, 32, 48, 64. Then we've just got some general logic. That could be an 8287. So I'm not sure off the top of my head what that is. But yeah, some other general bits and pieces. Power, because it's an 8080, is tri-voltage, plus minus 5 volts and plus 12 volts via a 7-pin DIN, which is a bit weird. When you look at it, so this is the pinout. Really you can get away with a 5-pin DIN because pins 7 and 3 are the same, and pin 6 and 1 are the same. Normally pin 2 is ground, so I don't know why they got pin 1 and 6 as ground. But yeah, you could effectively use a 5-pin DIN. So I'm going to use my Mean Well power supply, which is this one here. This is the one I generally use because it's got the 3 voltages on it. And I'm not sure pin 2, no, so yeah, the pinout's different. You can see the pinout there. So I'm going to have to make a converter plug, which is what I'll do first. Other than that, so according to Night Griffin, we'll have a closer look. Yeah, we've got all these beautiful KM type capacitors. Sometimes you'll see that they've been clipped because they contain silver or palladium, so they get cut out, which is annoying because then you have to replace them if you've got any hope of getting the machine to work. But yeah, but Night Griffin suggested also removing these K50 types, these electrolytics. Apparently they can leak, so I'll do that first. Make the converter plug for the power. He's also said, I'm not sure which one of these is the output, we'll get to it, that it outputs inverted RGB, which isn't a problem because you just invert it. You just run the output through an inverter and you get normal RGB back. But he also said that the frequencies can be a bit weird, so I don't know if I'll be able to get a video signal out of it if it's working. Well, as I say, it would be nice, but let's see. So yeah, converter plug first, and then we'll try powering it on. Alright, so I've compared the 7-pin socket, Pitanya socket on the Vektor with my Mean Well power supply, and they're effectively the same, except we've got 0 volts on pin 2 and they've got negative 5 volts. But we've got 0 volts on pin 1, negative 5 on pin 4, so pin 2 is the problem. Pin 5 is plus 12 and pin 3 is plus 5. So if I can just disconnect this pin 2 on the Vektor, then I could plug the Mean Well straight in. I wouldn't have to make up any bloody converter cable, which I'm just not in the mood to do. So, yeah, unfortunately I can't really see. If we have a look, let's turn it around. Let me just get this ready. That way it's angled up, that's a bit better. So this is plus 5 volts, it's not ground. So that's pin 7 and 3 there. And that one there I think is pin 5, which is plus 12 volts. So we've got pin 2 and 4. So that's negative 5 volts there. So it looks like this is where the negative 5 volt rail actually goes, which is actually pin 2. And pin 4 is connected to it. So I think I might actually have to desolder the socket so that I can properly cut. So what I want to do is I want to cut this so it's not connected to that. Cut this here and then connect pin 4 to that trace along there, and then this here is ground. So that's the plan. I know it's a little bit annoying, but it's better than having to make up a bloody converter cable, I think. Or I can plug it straight in, because I still have to make a DIN cable. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to heat up the soldering iron, and yes, as usual, I'm going to use my Engineer SSO3 solder sucker because it works really well. Especially on these Soviet era boards. Yeah, so away I go. Oh yeah, and I guess at the same time I had better remove these K50 capacitors. What have we got? I think we've got a 220. We've got a 220 micro, 220 micro, and something else there. So I'll remove these 3 as well while I'm at it. Okay, so I've got the K50 electrolytics out. A pair of 220 microfarad and a 22. So I guess one per voltage line. And I've got the 7-pin out. And as you can see there, so I just need to cut that track there. And then I can put it back in and then just connect this up to where that was going, and I should be fine. Well, I've got to make the video cable, but I might just power it up and just check if there is actually activity on the RGB output. I got the DIN connector back in, so I've just got to put in the electrolytic capacitors. So I assume they're there just to maybe stabilize the power to avoid any fluctuations, I guess. So we need two 220s and a 22. So the trick, I know I don't need to tell you guys this, but the trick when you've got triple voltages, well, negative voltage, is that the positive on electrolytic always goes to the higher potential. So in the case of negative 5 volts, the positive leg goes to ground and the negative leg goes to negative 5. So that's the simple trick to remember. And always the longer leg is the positive. So I won't be needing. So quite often with the Soviet ones, they will come with a little bit of protection. That's obviously not the one for that. They've fallen off somewhere. But come with a bit of protection. Here it is. To avoid shorting on the board, because there's no protection of the tracks on the board, but we don't need that with Western ones, so I won't use them. So let me get these in and then we'll see if it works. Well, we'll see what it does when I power it on. We'll see if we get some signals out of it. Given this is the top case, I've given it a scrub earlier, so it's come up okay, but I still think it might be a bit yellowed. But the reason why I got it is I need to figure out what port is what. So obviously we know that one's power. So we've got CTV here, which I think is, and you can't see, I've put the paper there so I don't short the keyboard on the, but there's this thing here. We can have a closer look at it, but it's basically a jumper. So it's either in that position or it can be moved over to the other position. So I'm not sure exactly what that is, because the documentation I've got is for the original model, not this newer model. Then we've got magnetophone tape, and then we've got RGB, and then we've got either brightness or contrast. Let's have a look. So let me just, get this out of the way. So have a look at the machine itself. So that's our power. That's the speaker there. And then there's this CTV or something. So it looks like you can pull that out and move it. So I don't know what that is for. Maybe it allows you to have inverse video or non-inverse video. I don't know. That's tape, and then we've got this variable resistor trim pot, and then we've got RGB, and then these are the two joysticks. So this is the RGB here that we're going to look at. But on the schematic that I've got available, we have a look at the schematic. It's got a brightness and I think a contrast. And if you look at the actual motherboard layout, there are actually two of these next to each other, and this doesn't exist on the schematics that I've got. So yeah, this is the video output here. So pin 5 is video, I guess the sync. And then we've got RGB, pin 1, 2 and 3, and then we've got ground on pin 4 there. So yes, so we do have some inverters up here by the looks of it. So yeah, but anyway, let's power it on and see if there is any activity at all. So what I was going to do is rest it on there. And then just put these underneath the keyboard so I don't short anything. Alright, let's see how we go. So we'll have a look at the oscilloscope as well, I think. And the RGB output, see if there's any video activity. Okay, right. So there is activity. I've tried the keyboard, nothing. Like I've tried Ruslat. The LED doesn't light. The power LED is on. I can't hear any keyboard clicking sounds, so I don't know if that was a thing. Yeah, so there is activity on the CPU, on the data and address lines, so it does seem to be working. The only other thing I've realised is that I've got a 7-pin DIN for the output, not a 5-pin for the RGB. So, God, anyway, so let's power on and let's check each pin. So power on, and let's just check this pin. Going right to left. Come on. Alright. Okay, that doesn't seem to be doing much. But that one. Not sure. Alright, let's just run auto on that again, because at the moment it's 5 volts per division. Come on. Alright, 2 volts per division. Alright, what about this one? That looks to be some activity. So that's definitely pin 2. That's pin in the middle. Okay, so there is activity there. That does look like a proper video signal, doesn't it? Oh, do I stop it? I'm going to move along. So there's definitely something there. It is outputting something. Okay, so that's pin 2. That's the pin beside it. So pin 2 on the original schematic is green. Doesn't look like much of anything, does it? Okay, oh no, it's just way up there, isn't it? I'll have to move it down a bit. Alright, so there is activity there. Sorry, I think I just moved it a little bit. So that's 1 volt per division. And yeah, so there is something. Oh, that just seems to be noise, that one. One more. That seems to be just noise as well, doesn't it? 20 millivolts per division. So I want to see what this thing does. So let me just pull it out. Turn the machine off. I'll be back. Alright, so easiest way to do is just experiment, I think. So let me just start recording. Now I figured out ground. So ground is that pin on the outside, pin 7 or pin 6, not sure. And I've put the sync on pin 2, which is where we were getting a signal before. And so I'm just touching I'm using a GBS control. So it does say RGB 49.77 Hertz. I'm just touching, and I was saying, so this is just the red one I'm doing. I think I was saying, so, oh, see, there is text there as well. See, there is text, and I think that's like the tape loading screen. So it is working. I just need to figure out how to get. Oh, I could. Oh, yeah, I could see some text there. Maybe I should just randomly just hook up green. Maybe the colors will be wrong. See, there's text, so there's output there. There's output there. And there's output there. So I might just hook up RGB just to those 3. And that seems to be the strongest. So I'm thinking maybe that's sync or something. So let me just let me stop recording, power off, and I'll solder these on and see what we get. Alright, let's try this again. Move recording. Press any key, so I need to power on. Okay. Start recording. So Yeah. So I think it might be having problems. There is an image there, but we're not syncing to it. And maybe there is, maybe, do I need to adjust the brightness perhaps? Have I gone too dim? So there is something there. I'm using this GBS control. I don't know if there's anything that's pass through. I've just selected pass through. No, that didn't help, did it? No. I lost it. Alright, I got a signal back now. Current output 50 Hertz. Okay, so I think the machine's working, but like Night Griffin said, there's some weird stuff about the video output. Strange sync frequencies or an inverted RGB. Oh, we almost had something there, but it did say Vector 06, so it is working. I just need to find some information on what the video output is. So we're getting there guys. Let me stop recording that. Yeah, okay, I'm happy it's working, but some more work's obviously required. Get that key off there, that probably doesn't help. Yeah, getting there. Okay, I think that's about it for tonight. More progress later. Thanks for hanging around. Bye for now.